Friday yet? Oh my God. It's Friday. Oh, Friday night. In the kitchen. What's up, guys? Y'all dancing? What y'all doing? God, I'm looking like Miss Cleo right now. Call me now, Miss Cleo. Call me on the phone. Call me upon the phone. I do the tarot card reader for you. I feel like Miss Cleo with this headband. I told my daughter, I was like, give me something real cute to throw on my head. Anyway, what's up, guys? Before we get started, like, share, subscribe. I'm trying to grow my channel. Thank you for everybody for following, commenting, everything. I do read all my comments. I do respond. So don't think I don't, because I do. Today's sponsor is going to be Sea Moss Gel. This is Sea Moss Gel. Y'all know Dr. Sabi down in Honduras. Shout out to Danny. He's just down there. This is what moringa and honey. They have all different kinds. They have mango. They have soursop. They have whatever you like. Sea Moss is amazing. It is high in nutrition and low in calories. So you know it's a cooking channel, so I'm always gonna come here with some food. I did just drop my seafood recipe for seafood soup last night, so it is there if you are looking for it. Just go on my playlist. Mm. Love, brother, love, love, brother, love, love. How much ketamine is he? Love, love. You gonna be sitting there, love, when you get sentenced to life. Life. How about that? Life for you, because you love. Diddy. What in the world did Diddy do today? What are we gonna talk about after the Diddy when this is over? I cannot handle a mistrial or a hung jury, please. And if they let him free, the diddler is just going to come back. If you go back on my previous live, I broke down all the payouts he's been paying people off since the 90s, paying witnesses to testify that J-Lo allegedly didn't carry the gun. You know what I mean? Paying off Shine, go his 50 racks, go sit in prison 10 years. Paying everyone he banged in the face, giving them a settlement. Paying City College family, paying Steven Stout. Bam! Hit him in the head. Smash him in the head with the bottle. Pay off. He's been just paying people off forever, and that's why he's been getting away with the shenanigans. But we're not here to talk about that today. Today we're going to talk about who we're talking about. Nicole Westmore. I don't know who she is. I don't know where she's from. But today we're going to give her. You know how Charlemagne, you get the donkey of the day. Yeehaw! Did I just sound like a donkey? Well, yeah, we're going to do the gas face because this is hip hop right here. We from the 80s and the 90s. Y'all know my age. You know what it is. We're going to give it a gas face. Y'all know the gas face? Can y'all do the gas face? Come on, do the gas face with me. I know y'all watching. Y'all all, right? Who gets the gas face? Nicole Westmoreland. Let's look at the video. Shout out to MC Search from Third Base. That's a good friend. I actually did an interview with him. I couldn't help myself, guys. I'm so she had to get the gas face. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? All right, before we get into her, let me just go through this. Let me just break this. For the people, I gotta get everyone up to speed who wasn't here. This is the RICO. They're trying to pull out the enterprise. Who did what? Who were the higher ups? Who paid right? So we had Uncle Paul Lee, D-Rock, Capricorn Wright, Roger Barnes, Gene Deal, Christina Capricorn. I always forget this dude's name, the assistant, Kaplan something, Uncle Paul Lee, Ruben, and D-Rock. There they go. These are the ones that was kidnapping, arson, running the errands, picking up the prescription meds, the bribery. She's the one came with the $100,000 bag of cash, paying everyone off. And here is the boss. They're trying to hit them with the RICO. at Enterprise. Here's the Enterprise. Part of the Enterprise. Let's see, Enterprise to commit crimes. You need to prove 2 crimes. There's over 40 predicates. He's getting charged. I think they listed about 8. So let's see. Kid Cudi, arson. They proved that the car with Bad Boy, the police ran the plates, was at the scene of the crime. Hired multiple S workers. They said they got paid to show up and perform for 3 years. Kidnapping. Capricorn Wright was his assistant. Some jewelry went missing from Jacob the jeweler that he had borrowed, and they kidnapped her for 5 days. That's what she testified, and made her take 2 lie detector tests. Extortion. This is Regina Ventura, Cassie Ventura's mother. She said he told me I had to wire him $20,000 or he would harm my daughter or expose her tapes. So she took out a home equity loan, gave him $20,000. That's extortion, bribery. This is Garcia, Eddie Garcia. He was a security guard. He was making $10 an hour at the International Continental Hotel in Los Angeles. He was like, go get me the tape. Came in with a machine, counter machine, brown paper bag, gave him $100,000. He took $50,000, gave his boss the rest. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That I see. I don't know what you see. I don't know what the jury see. I don't know if you're connecting the dots. None of these people right here, part of the Enterprise, willingly came to testify. They were all subpoenaed. They were all charged with a co-conspiracy. They got immunity and a profit deal, other than, let's take out Gene Deal. Right? Prosecution's laying it up. Anyway, so Westmoreland testified yesterday and cross-examined Mangalo. Banna, that was her nickname. That was the girl that she said that Diddy dangled her from the 17th floor. She now came to cross-examine her, Westmoreland. She cross-examined her on the stand. Okay? Okay, here goes. On Thursday, defense attorney, this is coming from Channel 10 News, NBC. I'm going to read it right here. Let me make it a little bigger. Okay. On Thursday, defense attorney Nicole Westmoreland challenged Bangalo's credibility, suggesting that she lied or exaggerated. The lawyer noted that Combs was on tour from March-September 2016, including East Coast shows around the time. The cell phone metadata shows Bangalo photographed her injuries. You agree that one person can't be in 2 places at the same time? It's like a theory. Yeah, it's hard to answer that one. Later, Bangalo said she did not recall the exact date, but she had no doubt the balcony episode occurred. She also acknowledged she was smoking weed with Combs not long after and attending one of his concerts in a private party a week later. You weren't too fearful enough to go to Mr. Combs' event, were you? I always had a feeling inside, but yes, I went. Okay, so then she started asking her, now, this lady, like, she's a beast. All right, she's good at what she does. You know, she's definitely a beast, Westmoreland. So she submitted as evidence a bruise on her leg after he threw her on the patio, but they ran the metadata, but they're saying that the time doesn't add up. Okay, maybe he threw her. Remember, she's intoxicated. They're all on drugs, so you're gonna get 3 different sides of the story, which is normal. If me and you see a car accident, you're going to see the car accident one way. I'm going to see the car accident another way. So that's normal in a RICO case, that you're going to have each witness telling their interpretation. There's what happened, and then there's your interpretation of what happened. Then you got to make it make sense. Who said she got injured? Sometimes a bruise. Have you been bruised up before? I've never really gotten beat down, but if you ever had a bruise, sometimes it doesn't show it right away. The bruise might show up 2 or 3 days later. Oh my God, I got that bruise. Where's that? I took a picture. I saved it. By the time she took the picture, yeah, maybe he went on tour and he left town. He's a busy man. He lives in hotels. He got all these mansions. He don't live in his house. So she was also saying, why are you going to sue him for $10 million? You're trying to sue. Is that justice? She cross-examined her and was trying to say, is suing for $10 million is justice? Because if you were really truly a victim, why don't you go to the police? How can you go to the police when he got LAPD on the payroll? He got LAPD coming up when the rapper G got shot in the studio and they threw him out in the street. According to Little Rod's testimony, he threw him in the street and said he got shot outside with the homeless people. Mr. Muhammad, right? Isn't he the cleanup guy? Mr. Muhammad, head of security. Didn't Mr. Muhammad do some cleanup with Michael Jackson? You have doctors, licensed doctors, writing you fake scripts. So I'm gonna trust the LAPD? Not, especially when the LAPD allegedly got rid of the fingerprints. When they broke in the house with Kid Cudi, where's the fingerprints with that? Oh, they missed it. I don't know. When the fire department went to the LAPD and was like, I need to cross-reference the fingerprints from Kid Cudi's car to the fingerprints to who broke into the house, is gone. And you're telling this girl, why are you suing for $1 million, for $10 million, and that's not justice when you did the exact same thing? Hypocrisy. You're a hypocrite. So let's get into what happened. If you guys don't know, or you guys probably do know. You might know, you might not know. Let's get into it. Westmoreland versus Williams. This is 2008. It happened in Georgia. Here's the case number, 808A0676. After Westmoreland was RSA during a party in the music recording studio, she sued the recording artist and had invited her there on a theory of premise liability. The trial court granted summary judgment to the defendants. That means she lost because factual disputes preclude summary judgments were reversed. Summary judgment is warranted when there is no genuine issue of material fact and the movant is entitled to judgment law under that. When considering the motion of the summary judgment, and trial court must give the opposing party the benefit of all reasonable doubt and must construe the evidence and all interference and conclusion, therefore in the light most favorable to the opposing party. On appeal for summary judgment. So she tried to sue and she lost. Okay, so here you are cross-examining Bungalow, talking about why you want to sue for $10 million. Is that justice? Why didn't you go to the police? Meanwhile, she did the same thing. She sued Cash Money Crew, lost, did appeal, and lost again. And they didn't have anything to do with your assault. Viewed in light favorable of Westmoreland, the records show that in 2001, when Westmoreland, she was 19 years old, she worked at a business to help people reinstate their suspended driver's license. In early December 2001, she met Bryan Williams, the vice president of Cash Money Records, a music recording label, and a man named Stone, who had worked for CMR. Westmoreland described her job to Stone, who said that many CMR employees and recording artists had suspended licenses and could probably use Westmoreland's services. Stone invited Westmoreland to make a sales pitch to CMR at Patchwork's recording studio in Atlanta, where CMR had rented a studio recording space. Because Westmoreland was concerned about whether she would be safe she didn't know, so she got invited to the studio. She wasn't sure if she was going to be safe. She called the studio and spoke with the receptionist and said that they would provide security during the recording session and had security cameras on the premises. Let me stick a pen. Now, if you know like I know, there's a lot of shenanigans that go on in the recording studio. Now, maybe she was naive. Maybe she was going to law school. Maybe she didn't, some people are sheltered when they grow up. Maybe she wasn't allowed to go outside when she was a kid. So maybe this was all maybe a little bit, you got to trust your gut. Her gut was like, I don't know if I should go to the studio. It's nighttime. I'm a female. I'm alone. I don't really know this person or these people. They said, there's cameras, you'll be fine. Come on. She was 19 years old. So she goes. Let's finish the story. They encourage her that there'll be security, she'll be safe. They encouraged her to enter the studio, but Westmore declined. But then she said she would return the next day. The following evening, she drove with 3 female friends. They buzzed her into the studio. They went into the lounge area. They were hosting a party. There were 50 people there, neighborhood and friends. After she arrived, the rapper of Cash Money Crew, Stone and Elliott, asked 2 of Westmoreland's friends to go out to the store for some items they needed. Westmoreland saw her friends. She went with 3 friends. They left in the car to go to the store to get some stuff. Stone then she left the lounge to enter the recording session. She had another friend there that was busy braiding someone's hair. At that point, Westmoreland became uncomfortable because too many people were in the lounge. They were using rugs. And she felt isolated with her friends, and her car was on. Now, she's 19 years old, so she's probably not in law school yet. Westmoreland asked someone to use the bathroom. They directed her down to some steps. She went down the steps where she passed Cleveland, who told her he would show her where the bathroom was, followed her to the bathroom door, turned around. She said she got nervous. She didn't have to go anymore. And then when she was trying to leave, he pushed her into the bathroom. And the essay occurred. Westmoreland fled the building and waited in the parking lot for her friends. Shortly after that, Stone Cleveland came outside and told her not to call the police. Nevertheless, she reported the crime. He was arrested and eventually pled guilty to aggravated assault with an attempt to essay. She went after her victim. She called the police. He was arrested. He pleaded guilty, but she still went on to sue Cash Money Crew. So let's see.
Asking a judge to make a record company responsible for an assault committed by one of its employees.
Now, the woman claims she was supposed to be given an opportunity to make a business presentation, but instead, she says she was, quote, exposed to illegal drugs and explicit sexual activity before the act took place.
And Fox 5's Morse Diggs is here now with both sides of a legal battle. Morse.
Amanda, the record company, is a giant in the rap music industry, Cash Money Records. Their attorney told me the owners deny the claims in the civil lawsuit, and he vows the young woman's story won't hold up before a jury. This College Park woman says her attempt to conduct business with a recording company ended badly, very badly.
I was followed to the bathroom, forced inside, and I was raped.
Nicole, Westmoreland identified Alfred Cleveland as the man who committed the assault. He told authorities when they took him into custody that he worked for Cash Money Records. The criminal case has already been handled through a negotiated plea. Cleveland got jail time. Attorney Charles Hodges, on behalf of the young woman, has a civil lawsuit pending against the record company. How big is Cash Money? The label's artists include Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj, and others considered top-shelf talent. Atlanta is red hot right now for music. Even out-of-town firms like Cash Money will lease studio space to do business here. The company did just that at this building in Northwest Atlanta. And that is where Westmoreland claims Bryan Williams, a co-owner of Cash Money, invited her to come for a presentation. Williams was not involved in any way in the assault.
I was invited by members of Cash Money for a presentation. I was hesitant at first to go to the studio, but I was assured that I would be safe.
Once inside, Westmoreland says instead of seeing a business client, she saw something much different.
There were drugs, usage, and sexual activity going on.
In the lobby?
In the lobby.
Feeling uncomfortable, Westmoreland says she retreated to the ladies' room to weigh her next move. That's when she says Cleveland took advantage and followed her inside.
As a result of trusting these individuals, she experienced the most dramatic event a woman could go through. And certainly there should be some liability on the part of those who invited her to that premise.
Cash Money Records has retained Clarksville lawyer James Cox to handle the civil complaint.
Your employer is not liable for the criminal acts of employees unless they should have foreseen those acts were going to occur.
Cox claims Miss Westmoreland's account of what happened that evening is full of holes. When Cox answers the charges, he will tell Fulton County jurors that Cash Records owner Bryan Williams does not recall having any kind of business conversation with the young woman. Besides, he'll say Westmoreland went to the studio late at night. And who makes an introductory call late at night? He says that Westmoreland was there just hanging out and brought some female friends along. Westmoreland.
All right, guys. So, listen, I sympathize with anybody who is a victim of any type of abuse. It's not a laughing matter. It's serious. It's traumatizing, and victims do need to be compensated. The issue that I'm having here is that how does someone who was a victim of an essay, reported the crime to the police, he pled guilty, went to jail, but then you still went and sued the label, right? So at the time, Cash Money Records is estimated to be worth between 300 and 400 million based on a variety of recent sources. The valuation is 300 million. It has about $2 billion in revenue from Drake, Nicki Minaj, and Lil Wayne. So she sold it $2 billion and was like, okay, I'm coming for that. Right? You guys know who the owner of Cash Money Crew is, right? Birdman. Oh, what happened? I'm trying to show his picture. That thing is acting funny. Sorry, guys, my computer just froze. Here goes Birdman. Here we go. I'm gonna show his face. So you get assaulted, call the police, pled guilty. You went to the recording studio at night, but you still came after. At that time, his company was worth 350 million. He gets $2 million a year in gross revenue, but then his net worth is 300 million. You sue him and you lose. You sue the label, you lose, and then you go on appeal and you lose. Because they're like, you went at night with your friends. She goes, I was there to conduct business. No, you were there at night with your friends. You made a poor decision, and your friends left you there. And it's just a tragic, sad situation. But I find it very interesting. I think what the streets are saying is very interesting. How do you now go represent Sean Combs, who's on trial for SA, where all these victims, and then you're going to go on the stand and then question, that's not a good look. It's just, I understand you got to get your check, you got to get your money and make your name, and it's a high profile, and you hope it, but you're re-victimizing someone who's already a victim, and then you're going to tell her, how did you get injustice? You're going to sue. Get out of here. That's why I said you get the gas face. Come on, guys. Everybody watching, do the gas face. You get the gas face, okay? Because you were a victim, and you sued, and you failed, and you appealed, and you failed, and you're sitting out there looking at Bandalo, talking about, is that justice? Suing for $10 million? Is that how you get justice? Everybody must be like, why you didn't go to police? You can't go to police because he had the LAPD on payroll. I'm done with this, guys. I am done with this today. I'll see y'all later. Hit that like button. If you don't want to comment and share, just hit the like. Push it. Push it. Push that like button. When I get to a certain number, guys, I'm gonna get up and do a dance for you. I'm gonna do a real safari dance. But anyway, guys. All right, let's get out of here. Have a great weekend. I'll be back later. Do what you gotta do. What kind of crazy week 4? What kind of crazy in the world of itty bitty ditty is going on? I'll probably come back later with a recap. All right, guys.
Feeling nice, cook it up, put some fire on the spice. Jerk chicken, yes, please.
Later. Today was a no eyelash day. No eyelash. Damn, those eyelashes. I don't think y'all ever seen me. I had to glue. My eyelid was like glued up like this to my eye. I was like, I can't. Shout out to all the eyelash ladies. Shout out to y'all. Later, guys.